It's been quite an interesting week. A lot happened in the world. Trump and Ramaphosa in United States. Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan in Tanzania. And our very own William Samoei Ruto.
Still doing his thing, launching houses.
Launching his houses. But anyway, we had missed one of our members, of course. It's tonight, and tonight's show is a short-haired women's show. Two of them, beautiful as ever. But Simon, you know why we like women with short hair?
Of course, short budget.
Short budget.
Exactly.
You do not need to spend a lot of money every week.
Thank God. That is the truth.
Let's welcome Dr. C. She's back. And a new member, a lawyer among us, and someone who was in Gen Z protests.
We shall discuss her later, Dr. C.
But you don't want Subarus to go for her.
Yeah?
We don't want to, some people
You
do.
can.
He wants me to introduce myself. Me, I don't need any introductions. You see, there's Dr. C and there's you people.
Okay, okay, that's what you say.
And there's Samantha Wines. Okay? And I'm the entrepreneur behind it.
Yes, you are.
Mujenge Kenya, nyinyi wa
Aye,
Kenya.
so Simon, you do the...
Of course.
Yes.
I've not even started. I've not even... You take your water. Would you
Oh,
try
yes,
to
thank you, man. I'm a teetotal.
Go ahead, give me a glass, even as she even introduces it. Give me a glass right there. There you go. So, and who is this holding the wine glass like this? Who is this right here? The newbie.
Thank you.
As I serve you.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Melvin Thogo. I am a lawyer, a legal consultant, all-time activist.
I like that.
All time.
All-time
activist.
activist.
All the
But
time.
Underline.
But sijafika Tanzania.
Ujafika huko.
Because going there.
And you're so young.
I look
You're
young.
a born activist.
Yes, I'm a born activist.
Gen Z in the house.
Yes. Gen Z has entered the chat.
Yes.
And we're happy to welcome you.
Yes.
And indeed, of course, you know me, the guy who says it all, Simon Says, right here. Yes, I use my voice to actually enhance brands. That's me, Simon Says. And today we're going to keep it real with you. Straight from the first topic, CEO, tell us what's going on.
You know, this topic, man, remember the other time when I had a lot of people bashing us when I talked about it before. When I said the Ruto houses are a scam. But now, this weekend, on Tuesday, President William Ruto launched the affordable housing units in Mukuru kwa Njenga. And there was a scandal there. Many people who were supposed to get the houses did not get the houses. It went to some people, others who were the needy families didn't get. And we know the categories of those houses. There's Mama Yangu, there's the affordable housing, and there's one you can buy at the market rate. But I'll throw it. What is the problem with this affordable housing?
I think I'm going to start.
Go ahead.
There is the problem that is at large, but there is what I think.
What do you think?
Problem. So I think so that the main problem I see here is that the people who are contributing to the housing levy, this is the worker, the salaried workers. Actually, there is no proper means in which they are actually going to be owners. So you're seeing the salaried workers, most of them being disenfranchised. And so you're taking away from these people and empowering these people, which there's nothing wrong with it, yeah? But it shouldn't be from these people. And therefore, I feel the Kenyan salaried person is really suffering. The second problem I have with this housing levy is that the other day I had, I don't know which leader say that this is not actually like, if the fact that you contribute is not a guarantee that you will get a house.
Yeah.
True.
This is like a form of tax, it's a fund. And the government will use it the way they want to use. So there's a lot of unfairness there.
I see.
So that is my take too.
That is
on that.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Even for me, I would say this. Mine is a whole different flip. You see, the government, the way it works lately, it's been working in the sense that we know what you want, and you're gonna take it, I'm gonna shove it down your throat, even if you're constipated and it's bad for your health. And you're gonna enjoy it, and we're gonna say that indeed you enjoyed the food. For example, the people who even got the house, you say that you love the house, yay! Say that indeed it was very good for you, yay! That whole charade, because guess what they're gonna use these houses for? Campaign. You see that we promised?
Yeah.
We delivered. Do you see what I said that we're gonna do this? We delivered. But who asked for those houses? They insisted. It's like one of those things where we know what's good for you, and hence we're going to provide you what we think is good for you, and we're going to go further, we're going to make you pay for it, and hence we're going to make sure even that you know that indeed, as we remove it from your pockets, you are not only going to have to do it, but we're even going to show you how that it's such a good thing that you're doing, and in fact that you are indeed, the Kenyan government actually works. That's literally how they want to portray it, and that's even how I'm seeing this. In the sense that they're going to shove it down your throat. The affordable housing is basically something that they're going to shove down your throat, and indeed this is something they're going to use because this is the pedestal in which we're going to die on when it comes to the elections, because this is actually the key thing that they would say, these are the houses that we promised you, and these are the houses that we've built, but who in the world asked for them in the first place? Because indeed, some of those people there, they might want to move in different places, and some of them are even here, they're not even residents of the same location that even they were built in. So there's a lot of things, and that always happens with government, but they will insist. I promise you they will insist, and they will not let it go. Isn't that right?
Yeah, true.
Go ahead.
And I think you see the problem with all this, and let me just say that this is a noble cause from the beginning. Looking at it, theoretically, it's a very, very good thing for the country, and I do not think that even as a taxpayer, I would not be so pained to contribute to this cause. The problem is what they're selling or what they're saying is not what is actually happening in the ground. Because if you listen to the people in Mukuru who are saying, you know, those who are on the first day celebrating that we have houses, the second day they're on the streets. Again, they do not have these houses. And if at all this thing is, if at all you've given someone, you have a house, you've been given a house by the government, and it's called affordable housing, where the only thing that you'll be doing is paying maybe a service charge, which is also not very expensive. Why do we need influencers and content creators to come and tell us how good this thing is? It should speak for itself. Mama Mboga should come and tell us that, you know, I used to live in maybe not grass thatched, but I used to live in like
I used to live in the slums.
Is it a silicone or is it aluminium? And now I live actually in a concrete house and a good decent house. That's the problem with it. And the others that we've seen, because there is also another affordable housing that was launched in Nakuru. It's not, this thing is not given to the people. It's not given to the people whom we contribute for it to be given to. This thing is given to private business people. They buy and then they rent them out. Let me ask you, how is a 16,000 every month an affordable house? How many Kenyans in the targeted areas can afford to pay 16,000 a month? They live in houses where they pay probably 2,500, 4,500, and then you want to bring 16,000 or 25,000 and then say that it's affordable. So the lies around it are the problem. And I think the problem with this regime is so evident that I don't think we can redeem them right now.
It's that bad.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
I like the last time, they're irredeemably corrupted.
Yes.
But the question has always been, and I've always said that there's a video which went round of mine when I said that the affordable housing was a scam. And the reason being that you cannot tax people and then you sell to them.
Yeah.
You cannot tax me, we pay a lot of money, and then when I want one of the affordable housing, you sell it at the market rate. Yet the government builds this land on government land which they do not purchase. So the difference between affordable housing and what I call the other houses, private developers, is that a private developer actually buys land at a high. The biggest cost of putting up a house is land, first of all, which is very expensive, especially in towns and cities. So you find that the government takes land for free, but still sells you that house at exorbitant price, and to make matters worse, you have been taxed. So, and I've always asked the people who are celebrating this noble cause is, who are the constructors behind this project? How comes no one is willing to tell us who is supplying them with concrete, who is supplying them with the mason stones, and who is doing the work? Because the government it's a development of an individual who has found a way of making money.
Yeah.
That's true.
Who are these people?
Reveal that.
But you know, the funny thing about this Mukuru kwa Njenga thing, did they actually think these people will keep quiet?
Of course.
Like, did they really think, like, either somebody is taking us for fools? I think we are being taken for fools.
Goons.
Somebody is actually convinced that we
Yes.
are fools.
And you see, these goons are just guns for hire. They'll always go to the highest bidder. So today you buy them, tomorrow they sell you out. And because the frustrations, you see, if you pay me 500 to sell this thing and I still don't have a house, how am I going to keep quiet?
Yeah, and I
So
still don't
these,
have food.
you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? These Mukuru kwa Njenga people, they will go, invade those homes, stay there, and just not leave.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Even
you cannot, you know, that you go try to evict them, they will not come out.
Or someone else will
That's
come
an
and then
idea.
buy them out.
Yeah, that's
That's
an
really what that usually can happen. Someone can actually come and then buy them out. Hey, listen, and then of course they turn out into rentals. I would not be shocked in less than 5 years, all of those houses are now a bunch of rentals, and a lot of people have even bought them. And now it's even not even you think even 16, it'll even be 25K for even that house, and bam, that's how it is. Because that's how
They'll
it
go back
will
to
be.
the slums, the guys.
And it's just
All of
back
them.
to factory settings. I want to see in 5 years how many people are still in that place. Not even 5 years. Let's see even by election time. Let's not even go far. By election time, let's see how many people who have said that they gotten houses by the government, how many of them are still staying in those apartments by election time.
But
Let's
wait a
see.
minute. Why do you want to see it by election time? It's not like they stuck in. You see, they went there for the camera
Come, so-
and then left. It's not like they even.
They've
when
already
they
gone.
were, you saw the police were there evacuating them.
Yes.
So they're not there.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that these people who actually are the ones you're calling Mama Mboga, the ones who can't really afford, you are aiding these people. You come out of this scam and then you go and line up for 500 shillings somewhere. It's just, anyway,
Yeah, but-
talking of, I think when you start seeing this kind of unfairness in the communities, and this is why this second story really needs to hit home. So allegedly, there's somebody who is selling ice cream near a school in Kimmani, and the ice cream is laced with drugs. So, you know, the children in the school started exhibiting unusual signs and behavior, like they were appearing drunk, they were overly active, they were excessively sleeping. So the gentleman called Geoffrey Mosira,
Mosira.
he's the chief officer of
Enforcement.
enforcement officer environment from the county of Nairobi. Came to inspect to find out exactly what's happening in this school. And luckily, he actually discovered a sachet of ketamine. Ketamine is actually, as a veterinary surgeon, that doctor there is veterinary surgeon, ketamine is one of the drugs we actually use as an anesthetic. It's a very strong anesthetic we use when we want to put a dog to sleep, so that, even cats, especially for cats, to sleep so that you can operate on. And now this ice cream is being laced with ketamine and being fed to children. And this is now a dog eat man eat dog society. Like, we have gone too far.
You think so? You think so? Because even when it comes to ketamine is a very popular. They actually are used a lot, even in the States a lot. There's actually fentanyl and then ketamine. People are taking a lot of that. One thing I'd even say is this: there's a lot of drugs. There's a section of drugs that a lot of people, even the police officers, and they're not cracking down on because they know, quote unquote, the normal person actually takes them. For example, even be the ketamine, be it even the shrooms, be it even the pills and everything, be it even the acids, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of those, and they're very out there. Even police officers even may not even know what they are, and they're always overlooked. Now, the thing I would say is this. there are a lot of reasons to do drugs. There are a lot of reasons to do drugs, and a lot of kids are active. You have to remember the kids are actively going to actually knowing, hey, yo, that's the person who actually even got to whatever. So you go to that ice cream place and you know what it is. Because even the person was not even caught, because he was informed and he said, yo, you better dip because the guys are coming. All right? And what's happening is primarily is that a lot of kids, even what's happening is, a lot of kids are escaping a lot of situations, even in their own lives, or even they're engaging even in drugs for even many reasons, for the sole purpose, for that now they actually need to have a higher level of enjoyment. Even a lot of issues that we have about mental health and everything, that we have amongst even young people, they mitigate that with drugs, so on and so forth. So there's always a reason to actually even mitigate when mental health is a big issue within a certain section of society, that a lot of people even mitigate it with drugs. I'm telling you, not saying that it's right, I'm telling you what's happening.
Yeah.
All right? I'm telling you what's actually happening in the real ground. Be it now depression and anxiety, people mitigate that with drugs. Now it's a way for them to calm down and everything. Could it be because even the parenting? Could it be because even society now doesn't even know how to address situations? That could be primarily the case. Now, when it comes to even drugs, the authorities and everything, they think that they've solved any issue. Not really. They just came into like crackdown to see if anything's going to happen. But even they didn't catch the person. The person has already moved on to the next location. But when it comes to the specific drugs, like the acids, the ketamines, even the fentanyls, even the cocaines, it's out there. That's not really being cracked out upon. Like, for example, the weeds and other things. Like weed and alcohol and other things that people usually are known for. That's the truth.
I think I'm curious to, because I understand the rot, but I'm very curious to understand the thought process of this person. Because these are children, these are minors, and you're exposing minors to drugs. They have no way of knowing what this is. They have no way of giving consent, but you give it and give it until you're caught, or until there's word out there that this is happening. And I'm just thinking, how deep is the rot in our society? Because much as now this is a criminal offense, this is also about this person. And what this person is willing to expose children to, minors who have no way of knowing what this is or even giving consent.
These kids know.
No. I do not believe that
These kids know. I'm saying you that no. I'm telling you for a fact.
How do they know?
Oh, I'm telling you for a
know?
fact.
How do they know?
No. Here's the thing. Let me tell you for a fact. Not hypothesis. Let's be real, okay? On a serious note, let's be real, okay? The kids who are actually now, you know, ketamine and active engaged in acid and everything, they're as young even as 16, 17, those high schoolers, they know that if you go here, you're getting this drug, and if you go here, you're not getting the drug. That's why even, who do you think informed even the guy that even the authorities were even coming? You think that guy was just even coming there on his own volition? He knew the marketplace, and the marketplace was coming. You think he was even doing that for free? He knew that indeed these kids could actually even pay a certain sum. That is not a poor person's drug. That is something that you have to pay a handsome money for you to actually even get. It's not some cheap drug you can get that even as common as we even get. No, this is properly even planned. That's what I'm telling you. Don't abscond them.
Dr. C, what he's trying to say is these things also happen in specific schools.
Yeah,
Yes.
because, let's talk about Kimmani. Kimmani is on Mukuru kwa Njenga.
Yes.
So these people know, these people know actually where to take these things. So whether it's a public school, there's many public schools there's many private schools, and therefore this person knows where they are going to. But let me tell a story from my village, so that you know that there's always people in the society who do these things. So this is a story. I come from Kakamega, a small village called Lukusi. So when I was young, there was this lady called Maria, and she used to make the best githeri. Yeah. So when you come out of class, you would go, maybe lunchtime, you go and buy githeri, and everybody would buy Maria's githeri, and if you had not subscribed, then you'd miss out. Then you'd have to buy somewhere else. So she was an old lady. So one day, she, obviously, like all of us, have to go one day. So it was said that her spirit is not leaving the body. So Maria was told, confess so that you can die, so that you can, your spirit can.
Leave the body.
Maria confessed to urinating.
Say what?
Yes. This is a true story.
Oh my goodness.
She confessed urinating.
And you are eating that githeri yourself.
This is
To urinating in the githeri so that she can continue getting. Ah, gosh, I've laughed until I'm crying.
Getting
But
clients.
we've also know that there are restaurants. It's
Yeah.
just been stopped. You know, a crackdown. This health crackdown. There are people who who sell chips, and they lace them with the drugs. So you don't know why you're going to this chips shop all the time.
This
Not just
particular
even in Kenya. It's happened even in the US. So therefore, sometimes people it's equivalent to these people who inject, green bananas with
Yes,
some
to turn them
drug so
ripe.
that they can ripe quickly, so that you can sell. So, I'm talking about the injustices in the society.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah? These things have, when the society, we lack the safety nets in the societies, people just resolve to doing things they can do to get by. Like in the case of Maria, who was urinating.
On the githeri.
But
She confessed, and she was blessed. Okay, you've confessed. She was blessed to die.
to leave the earth.
Yes.
See you.
It's always very interesting that the society, the way the society transforms is how the ills also grow. Because if your society hasn't transformed, then people do not become as creative as they are. And you can see the essence of our transformation has been both positively and negative. And the negative transformation is what you are seeing, that there's a lot of drugs in the affluent areas. In the affluent areas, the Kimmani area, I call it a crime scene. Kimmani is basically a crime scene of Nairobi. All the gold dealers, Kimmani. All the high-end prostitution,
Kimmani.
Kimmani. All the high-end B&Bs, Kimmani. And now, even the people who are lacing drugs for kids are in Kimmani. So Kimmani has taken the notorious New York tag. It's a very notorious neighborhood with everything goes and anything goes.
Yeah.
And the government and the county should actually look at how do we change this area. Remember, Kimmani is a home of 1, expatriates. Number 2, illegal immigrants.
True.
There are enough Chinese there. I don't know whether they have papers.
Enough
There
Nigerians.
is enough Nigerians. I do not know where they get papers. And there are Congolese, there are Zimbabweans, there are Rwandese. Everyone is in that enclave called Kimmani. So Kimmani has been an area where there's a lot of issues which will go on for a very long time. So the government should, and I hate the way Geoffrey Mosira goes around it. If you want to go to arrest someone, why are you making a lot of noise?
Because that's the publicity thing that he always does.
I find him too
Much.
and if he was genuinely interested in helping these kids, he would have raided that place, done the investigations, taken the guy to court. Let's get the root cause of who is supplying the kids with this ketamine, and how the process and how it reached there. Because it can't be a one-man job.
Yeah.
There's a whole group of people behind it.
Yeah.
Of course.
So let's go arrest them, take them to court, charge them,
And then put it in the media.
put it in the media.
Yeah, after it's done.
Yes,
Yeah.
but Geoffrey Mosira, because he's a publicity hound, he will run in every corner of this city, making a lot of noise and doing nothing.
Oh,
If you're a thief and you hear the dogs barking. Anyway, the moral of this story,
is
of this
discussion.
is that I don't think schools should allow people to sell things to children
Yeah.
near schools. Number 1. Number 2, if you find there's a restaurant you're going to and you're always
going there.
and there's a
Think
particular
twice.
food, think twice. You could actually be really
It's a
on
real
drugs.
Yeah, even this
It's a real thing.
This Mama Githeri is in Eastlands. You know, they cook using Panadol.
Yes.
Now, okay, how does that make people constantly come back?
You see, Panadol, instead of using like 1 hour of cooking Githeri, 30 minutes is done.
Oh, it speeds it up.
Speed it up and makes it very soft. So the next time you go to those Mama Githeris, you'll go back. Kumbe, you are taking a lot of Panadol. And you get resistance.
But I would like to issue an exception to this, is smocha.
Yes.
What's
Smocha.
a
Yes, yes,
smocha?
smocha,
Oh, what is a
smocha. You don't know what
smocha?
smocha is? Hey, that one we need to take a break.
No.
You don't know what smocha is? You don't
Yes,
know?
just tell what is a smocha, then we go for a break.
A smocha is chapati and smoky. You know, like smoky, it's like
Inside.
a roll.
Yeah.
You know a Rolex? Do you know a Rolex? Even that, oh my God. No, it's your generation. It's because
Let's
of
don't worry, Dr.
So,
Wait, you're for real?
so you put smoky inside the chapati and then it's called smocha. So it's smoky and
Yeah.
chapati.
And chapati.
Smocha.
Smocha.
And you trust these smokies?
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's a
The-
staple
it's
food.
everywhere.
It's a staple food, especially in
You
universities.
trust smokies?
Anyway, let's go for a short
But
break.
we're still here. I
Let's
went to the
go-
university,
Simon.
ate smocha every day, and here I am.
Well,
Wow. And on that
And,
side,
and we had one guy, Apo Mbele ya Parklands, who was selling these things.
where do smokies come from?
pigs. Isn't that right? Isn't that
There's
right? They don't
beef.
come from pigs?
No, there's
Pigs.
beef and there's pork.
You
There's-
don't
There's a
even
pork,
know,
there's a
you
pork
don't even
one.
know where they're coming from. And by the way,
Dr.
before
C.
we go on a break,
But I know where
there's
they're going, in
chickens,
my
there's
mouth.
chickens that are being raised on these steroids and whatever. So there's a lot of things.
Yeah. But
Let's take
smochas
a
are good.
break.
Well, on that smocha
Okay.
note, we'll be back, okay? Steve right there. Welcome back, welcome back. Hey, some people do not know what smochas is and they want to now abominate us with that ignorance here, and let's be real.
We need to
We're
do
gonna
a
keep it
censor.
real with some people here today. Sir, some people just don't know smochas, they're by themselves, them and their boldness. We're not pointing fingers. But now, as we talk even about even other issues that are happening, let me fill you guys in.
Yes.
Now, apparently even in this Nairobi, what's happening is some people who don't even have kids, they decide to do this. Now they bring in pets within their own house and then they treat them like babies and they treat them like kids. That is a serious thing that's going on. Even a lady who came back from the UK, her name was Eva, she decided to bring in a dog in our house, and then now she's treating it like her own child. Even there's another, even though we treat it to ladies, apparently there's another guy, it's called Kevin. He decided now to also, he's saying that I cannot date any lady who does not respect even the cat that I have. So that is the trend that's going on nowadays. Before I say my serious take on this one, I would like to hear what madness is this that we're doing nowadays?
It's not
Not
madness.
even plant people. Even people who can't even, they call themselves parents.
Like me.
People who even house plants, then now they call themselves parents. Dr. C, is this you?
Yes, that's me.
Who
I'm
doesn't
a
know
mother
smocha?
of many, including my. I'm a mother of many, including my plants, my daughter, and my dog. Oh, my daughter's dog. Let me just say I'm the grandmother of my daughter's dog. Her name is Lulu. Lulu is a family, like she's part of the family. I don't know these breeds, how they breed them. Lulu is like a human being, yeah? She will come, if you're upset, she'll even pet you. She's just behaves like a human. So you can't, but you have to love her. She wants to be loved. She wants to be petted. She wants to, but even when you're sad, she'll come to you. So you find that there is that exchange of, but also talking of plants, I also love my plants. I talk to them.
You talk to your plants.
I talk to my plants. They know, like you see them, they are just thriving like that. They understand. And I'll tell you something. When it comes to plants, there's something about caring. It's about you care about now, you also care about the future, and you care about the environment. It's about that. That said, as a vet, I know that for pet owners, when they bring their pets to you, you have two jobs. Number one, you treat the pet owner first, and then you treat the pet.
Yes.
Yes.
I understand that. Yeah.
You must treat these two people. But then again, it's also a sign of, there are some people who are escaping something. It could also be an overcompensation for certain people. Yeah, because yes, you can just decide not to have a child. But what is really making you decide not to have that child? What are you running from? Because I think the gift of having children, if you can, is God's greatest gift to humanity. So what is it you're running from? What are you overcompensating on? So there's all that. Let me not hog the time.
Okay, go ahead. No, let her go ahead first. I want to hear the ladies first.
I think for me, this is about free will. And free will in that you can choose what to give your life to. You can choose how to spend your time. And so for somebody who decides that I do not want the process of maybe getting pregnant and having a whole human being, and I would rather do plants and pets, you know, and anything else that doesn't require, you know, the human care. I think that's okay, because I prefer to have
Continue.
Simon, you're not a good guy.
honestly, I prefer to have dead plants and maybe even dead animals.
Dead plants and animals.
Yeah.
You want them dead?
That's not good energy. That's very bad feng shui.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. This is what I'm trying to say, that even as a plant parent, you can still be a bad parent. And I think if you kill a plant, that is not as bad as compared to when you raise
is
a
very
toxic or abused children. You understand? That the damage you're causing to children, to human beings, is worse than the damage you'll cause to a pet or to plants.
Can I just correct
have
you there?
nothing against-
No. Can I just correct you there?
Correct each other.
Because you see, this is the thing that we think as human beings we are superior to anything else that exists. Anyway, the Bible says, I give you dominion over. But I think as humans, we've gone over. We think we are more. We are part of the ecosystem. You know, this skin cheats us that, oh, now we are. But what makes you think in your next life when you get buried, you'll not be a plant?
Can a plant be employed to work?
A plant works. Plants work. They work, and the oxygen and that's work.
No, but you see, the plant depends on me to take care of it.
No,
which
the
is
plant
still
does not
okay.
need you. Just leave the plant alone. They don't need you. You are the one who thinks they need
This
you.
is
They don't need you.
But
They
okay.
just need you. Just
No,
need to leave them in nature.
But
Let
I'm
them,
saying,
let them,
just
let them.
in case you
It's
decide
interesting.
to be a plant mom and you're a bad mom, a damaged plant is better
If you can
than a
care.
damaged daughter
No.
or damaged son.
These two things are not, you see, if you can, you know, when you are looking at plants or looking after a pet, it means you really have in you that you can actually care. And because you have in you that you can care, if you have dead plants and dead pets, obviously you're going to be a bad mother or a bad
but
whatever.
even when you're getting pregnant and giving birth, sometimes you think you're going to be one of the world's greatest moms, and you are
Where's the
not.
manual? Where's the marking scheme?
Exactly.
Of the
it's
bad
not-
and good
And
moms.
that's what I'm
Now,
saying.
let's now-
That's what I'm saying.
now,
It is
but-
not
but now-
in any
now-
of this, not a
let's move
plant
on
mom,
to-
not a pet mom, and not a child, not a human being mom. So I
Anyway,
think for
Simon.
me, at the end of the day, it's about free will. If you decide that you want to give yourself to plants, to human beings, but if you're not sure or
Wachana nayo.
yes, wachana nayo. In fact,
let's
wachana nayo.
let's because the show is called Let's Be Real.
Yeah.
Let's keep it 100, okay? Let's keep it 100. Let's not lie to each other, okay?
Yeah.
If you're someone who actually treats your pet or even your plant better than even you treat a fellow human being, you are a horrible human being and you're the scum of the earth. You're basically manure on a gumboot.
Oh my
and that
God.
is the truth.
All of
And
us
that is
will
the
be
truth. And I
manure.
want to say that, no,
Yeah.
and I'll say that because I'll say that even seriously. Because what I say is this: people who dare treat their pets or even their plants better than a fellow human being, you are absolutely disgusting of a human being. And what I would say is this: you treat your fellow people worse than what you treat even you take care of. That is bad human being. And even what I would say is it's a red flag whenever you see a lady who actually even now who doesn't have a child. Take note, man. And at the same time, she has like a small dog. She's over. Yes, that is a lady who is right now compensating for a baby. And another one is when the lady is now actually she has a big dog. She's overcompensating because of the lack of a man in her life. Those are the two things. Because now, depending on the variation of the dog that she has, take note, man. When she has a small dog, overcompensating because she doesn't have a child, and which is a big dog, she's overcompensating because she ain't got no man in her life.
No.
That is the truth. And the other thing is this, and also another one. We must be said. These things must be said because we're giving it real here.
Simon.
Another thing is this: when you actually actively go out of your way in many situations to take care of even a plant, to take care of even a dog, or take care of any pet, don't you dare bring any abomination to the name as a parent. The abomination, because a parent is something more than just taking care of a thing that of not a human being. You're discrediting the credibility of the name parent.
And you made the police
now,
of this name.
Yes.
Why are you trying to police this name?
Yes, or not even police. We have definitions of names, and we should give credibility to those definitions. That is
So
the
what
way
is
we
the
have.
definition of a marriage?
No, what? Of a?
Of a marriage.
Of a marriage. Something that I'm not in and I do not feel to be in
Okay,
right now. And that is the truth. And that is the truth. And I do not want to live this. No, marriage is responsibility. Marriage is and I do not want stress.
you.
No, I don't want stress. I don't want stress.
This is
I
someone who
don't want
thinks that
stress.
marriage is responsibility, but parenthood is not. Please disregard.
No, parenthood is a responsibility, by the way.
just-
You can be married without
Exactly.
You can
So
be.
you can
Ladies
decide
and
to not take
gentlemen.
responsibility
Of
in
what?
that aspect.
CEO, what
Yeah,
do you
no,
mean
why-
the
I'm
final
saying
one?
don't call yourself a parent and all you have is a pet
bad
and
news.
a plant. Don't call
CEO.
yourself that.
Yeah.
That is the
CEO.
truth.
I've heard you,
Yes, that is the truth.
and I really laughed because it reminded me of my good friend Zao Msao. I used to work with him here at Standard. And he used to say that those people who work with those dogs are Babylonian. He's a reggae guy. Zao says, do you know what is actually a Babylon?
So,
Babylonian is people who are pretentious.
yes.
Babylonian are people who, and
Baby.
in the history of reggae, Babylon are the worst people. And even in Bible, you will be taken to Babylon if you're a bad person. So these characters, Africans who are trying to, it is good to take care of your pets as pets.
Yes.
Do not take care of your pets beyond their role as pets. Because Africans, the way we are wired is that we have pets and we have what we call traditional wealth. And our traditional wealth is the animals you keep,
Cows.
the goats you keep.
Yeah.
And you can use it for marriage, for friendship. That's how it is. Even sometimes we keep dogs and you give. In African setup, you do not buy a dog. A dog you are given.
Shall I remind you, we only have the only dog market in the world.
Lubao.
Lubao.
Lubao is
Where I come
Western
from.
only.
Yes.
Remember that there's no any other place where you have
So
a
which
dog
Africa
market.
are you talking about?
In
It
this
has been
Africa.
there even before I was born.
No, I'm just saying, it's only Lubao market where people buy dogs. There's nowhere else in Kenya.
Apart from these other sellers that
There's
people-
nowhere else. People just
Market?
come and, yeah.
People, like, so many people are
They're
making
to
dollars.
sellers. That's a bit because typical people now start.
They're breeders now.
They're people
But that's
They're
a
breeders
market
now,
where you just
But
take.
you see, the breeders are breeding this type of other dogs. But traditionally, and I say Africa is our business. We Africans. So if you see someone trying to tell a girl telling you that a dog is my baby, a dog is sleeping in the bed with me,
But it can. What's the problem?
Nah, no.
What's the problem?
That's
Yeah.
a big red flag.
What mean
That
a
is
big red flag?
No, that's a big red
Let
flag.
me tell you, that on
See?
Saturday morning you'll find me in the bed, my daughter, whatever,
No, but you're
everybody,
already a
all
parent.
of us together.
But then you're
together
already
with
a
Lulu.
parent. I'm talking about even the people who are single who don't even have anything. Then that all of a sudden they're treating the dog as if it's their own kid, and better even. And then they start now putting the dog even above. Even when you come in, please treat my dog with respect in the
Yeah.
sense that you must put
And
that dog on a
yes.
pedestal.
listen.
No!
You're
I'm
not
just
there
The
to-
dog is still a dog.
And that's why in this country and many European countries, we have the bestiality.
Bestialism.
What?
Yes, bestiality.
Bestialism.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
Do you know why bestiality came?
Tell
It's
us.
because of these ideas of people forgetting
Humanizing.
the humanizing animals.
no.
Yes,
listen.
that is the truth.
No, let me tell you, bestialism is something that is very well known in veterinary practice. Yeah?
Yeah.
This is a mental health derangement. People who sleep with chicken,
See?
people who
Goats.
want to have sexual interactions with the cows, with the, okay, I don't know about dogs because a dog will bite you, but with animals. It is a
But-
very well-known, documented something, human behavior, and it's a mental derangement. It's something just goes cuckoo
Yeah,
in the head.
but
it has
But-
nothing to do with
but-
people actually keeping pets.
And I said, keep pets to remain pets.
Pets.
We've said the problem we have here in this
Humanizing.
show is humanizing.
That's the thing.
I'm saying, and I've agreed, if you're putting traditional...
Humanizing.
Yes.
Yeah, when you're sleeping with it in the bed,
Not
But the dog just wants to come and lie next to you.
Even I will even go for the CEO. Even people.
What's the problem, you
even
guys?
CEO, even
A
a
dog
My
remains
dog
a
jumps
dog.
into my
A
bed.
dog should be in a kennel.
A dog should actually maintain. There should be boundaries.
Bosco should be
Oh,
out.
come on.
There has to be boundaries. There has to be
No.
boundaries. There has to be
What
boundaries.
boundaries?
There has to be
Let me
boundaries.
tell you something.
Even people who own cows, there has to be boundaries in the way
Like
you
the
don't
way
treat
I
a
treat
cow.
my cow, yeah.
Don't treat your cow better than the person who actually now takes care of it.
But
That's what I would even
shall I
say. Don't treat your
I
cow better
had
than
cows
that.
as pets when I was growing up. I remember their names: Lesi, Maridadi, Lumumba, Nyundu.
Yeah,
The other, yeah, they even had names. I remember them, and when I even sometimes when I look at me, I'm just like seeing maybe this is, you know, I had pets as animals.
But you
Like
didn't bring them in
cows
the
and
house,
dogs.
man.
They were
Guys.
not coming into the bed.
Yeah.
But you know, the dogs, my dog can jump into my bed anytime.
Guys,
Yes,
anything
but
can
then
be a
she
pet,
wants.
including a snake and a snail. And please, let's just conclude that.
Okay.
Free will.
No, not free will.
Do with
Let's
your
go-
pets
no,
as you
no.
wish.
Africa
right?
is
Don't
our
say that.
business.
Don't
do
say
with your
that.
pets as
No.
you wish.
I am African, red hot,
I'm saying-
blooded African.
Africa is our business.
Yes.
And African things, how we deal with them,
Hey.
we'll remain with them in African way. These women who are
Yes.
sleeping with dogs in their bed, these guys who are saying kids are their children, they should get that nonsense out of our way.
Pretentious nonsense that's westernized. Look at yourself. Shameless. Seriously.
No.
Like even no, seriously.
No, Simon.
No, let's
That's-
not.
no.
What do you have
What do
against
you want
that?
to say?
No.
What do you want to say?
Like I said,
I sleep with
free
my
will.
dog.
That is sounds very bestiality. Where?
No, she can jump in my bed. Yes. She can jump in my bed. What are you people talking about?
Don't you see? Someone will criminate you.
No.
That clip. Is I sleep with my dog. And you said that very proudly.
Yeah, she comes to my bed.
A guy.
Yeah.
Watch yourself.
And
Watch
yeah, she'll
yourself.
just sleep there. Everybody sleeps there. And let me tell you, I sleep so soundly because, let me tell you, Lulu hears even anyone near the gate. Woo! And therefore, you are just like...
It's okay as long as you
Anyway.
clean up
Very
after.
safe.
You clean
It's
up
all
after
right.
her. That's on you.
Let's
If you have
move
fleas
on.
on your bed, it's okay. If you
Let's
have
move
whatever.
on.
Oh,
it's
she's
okay.
very clean,
Okay,
cleaner
you
than
cleaner,
some
you
people.
Cleaner. You cleaner. Go ahead.
Let's
Which
move-
people?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You people.
Let's move on.
Go ahead. What is your topic? You had a very interesting topic. Go ahead. Talk to us.
So, guys,
What's up?
babe, boy lollipop, baby boy, Han, sweetie.
Hey?
Do you know that these names could actually land you in trouble using them at work? So 2 years ago, we had a lawyer who was fired because of calling a male colleague in a junior position boy lollipop, baby boy, and this is treated as sexual harassment.
Boy, lollipop.
The reason they're laughing is because it is taken as weakness because it comes from a man. I want to give my take at the end, so I'll start with, no, I'll not start with Simon. I'll start with CEO. Do you think this is weakness?
A book of
And
CEO,
you
boy,
as a
lollipop.
CEO and a boss, I want you to look at this from, don't just look at the ladies, don't look at the babes, look at everyone at your workplace.
So first of all, why are you calling people babes?
I'm calling boy lollipop. I'm calling.
And why are you calling people boy
calling boy
lollipop?
lollipop.
He wants me to call him boy lollipop, and I
Call him
want to do
boy
it.
lollipop.
But how would you call someone boy lollipop?
So there was a song called I love you, my lollipop. Another one.
I've never heard of that, Doctor.
That sounds traumatizing.
It's there. My boy lollipop. There's actually a song called
My
My Boy
Lollipop.
Lollipop.
Okay, I
You
know-
know
I
it?
know- yes, I know
By
that
what
one.
sisters? Pointer sisters.
Yeah, I think way back in the day, black and white TV.
You make my heart
Go,
go,
yeah.
giddy up.
Yes, I know it. I know.
You are my lollipop.
Yes, I know it. Go ahead, see
But
you.
that doesn't sound as... okay, just continue.
Boy lollipop,
I think maybe in organized working groups, you wouldn't have a chance to call someone babe or something. Because that structure and employment act and all that, there are strict laws which defines how you relate, and that relation remains as so. And because you are not allowed even to call your female colleague after 8, and especially someone you indirect you reports to you or under you. So these things are there. The law is very clear, and if you work in a corporate organization and you're a boss, then you know where you should and where you shouldn't,
Yeah.
and who you should call. Even if I have pressing issues, past 9, I can't call my female colleague. Why would I call? It might be misconstrued as a different call. I can call you until 7 p.m. when I need something. The rest of the things are called the next day in the morning.
And
so the law is clear on those issues.
do you believe that even the male employees that are at risk of being sexually harassed at work?
Of course, because the law does not apply on one side.
Yeah.
The law applies on both sides. And if you are in that position as a lady, you know that if you're calling this guy, the guy might say, why are you calling me at 9 every day?
So let me skip Dr. C and come to Simon.
What I would say is this. You see, in this case, actually, her case was, the case was thrown out. He was not actually, the case was thrown out in the sense that he didn't actually win the case. When he lodged that case, he didn't actually win.
No, the case was not filed by this particular employee. What happened is this organization fired the lawyer.
Oh, but
and then she went to court.
And
then court
threw it out.
Didn't throw it out really, but the court held that her termination was unfair, and also held that the employee was being referred to as Lollipop, didn't have a problem with that, and it was okay, and it had been used on him over the years.
Aha, you see, that's what I wanted. That's the information I wanted to hear. You see, now in that case, you see what I mean? If a man lodges, as a man, listen, true story. When it comes to now sexual exploitation, brah, you being viewed as a victim, brah, it has to be egregious. It has to be egregious and it has to be extreme for you now being viewed as a victim. Sadly, as a man, let's be real with us. The law can be written, but there's a little slight prejudice against it. All right? You're not viewed as a victim here. She called you boy Lollipop, and then because she was thinking that maybe you're sweet. And then now you are there, and then now you there lodge a complaint. You be looked at like a weak man. Being honest, you lodging the complaint as a sexual harassment, you look like a weak man. But you actually be ridiculed even by your fellow men. Even other ladies look at you like, Nini Mbana, by the way, what's wrong with you? Like, even that is the sad truth of like the situation. That's what's really happening. It has to be egregious for a man to actually now be viewed as a victim when it comes to sexual exploitation, especially within the workplace or even outside that workplace, because technically we're not the ones who are viewed as a sexual pride or even sexual beings. That is the truth. Now, when it comes to even the women, the bar doesn't have to be that police. Me calling her baby Lollipop and all these other names, that case I would have been dismissed, fired, undressed, and even thrown outside, and even spat out like Jonah in the whale. And seriously, and you would have been, I don't know that. It's a fact. If a man did half those things that lady did, not only the case would have been not even have been convicted, I probably even got in jail time. That is the truth. Probably even got in jail time, and then you would have said trauma, all these things, and you come there with your puppy eyes. Bam! I'm there. I'm gone. And me now I lodge. Imagine me, this face, now lodging a complaint against her. This face. And then now, you be saying, she's calling me boy Lollipop, and then now she's even giving me now text messages. She's calling me past 9, and she doesn't know I have a wife and 2 kids. Who are you going to believe? We're keeping it real here now, on a serious note. And judges are human beings. We cannot lie here. We're not lying here. We're keeping it real. That is the truth. Now even you, hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, make it short. So we almost ending. Before we wind up,
listen, you guys are making me laugh until tears are coming up. But on now speaking for the business, first of all, we know that culture is strategy for breakfast. I think where this business came from in dismissing this lawyer, it was a law firm.
No. It's an NGO.
An NGO. Where they came from in dismissing this particular lady, this employee, is the fact that if you're going to have, and she was in a senior position, she was the senior of this young man. If you're going to set the trend of people can just sexually molest, and all people can just talk to each other, you're setting a precedence. It's a certain culture that you are setting. And therefore, even though the young man may have not complained, what stops somebody else then actually going ahead and doing the same thing to somebody else and setting up that precedence and that creating that culture of, you know, people just being promiscuous within the organization. So here, I must say that I tend to concur with the organization, even though when it's in the court, there's a court of law and there's the law and there's the spirit and there's the spirit and the nature, the spirit and the word of the law.
Yeah, the spirit and the letter.
And the letter, there's the spirit and the letter of the law.
The word is still a letter.
Yeah, the word and the letter, of the law. So sometimes the judges hands are tied.
Yeah.
In the way they are going to be looking at some of these issues and following precedents. Remember now, you can get married. It has been declared illegal. Some organizations used to have this law that you cannot marry, colleagues cannot marry.
Yeah.
And now the court of law has declared that, you can get married and still work in the same organization.
Yes, yes.
So I see the clash between the law and the intention of the human resource, what culture organizations want to set, and what is the law.
That is true.
Yeah.
So I think they should appeal.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you
So,
think?
my take is this. When you talk about sexual harassment, it is not discriminative that only female or ladies can be sexually harassed. And this applies to even the men. And when you say that you see the victim, a man cannot be perceived as the victim, I think that's where the problem is. And that is why a man will be abused but not report or not talk about it because they will be perceived as weak. And I want to believe that the reason this person did not even come forward, because I did not see where he came forward to say that I have been sexually harassed, is because of that perception. But there was someone who anonymously came forward and talked about this, and who knows whether it's that person or not. So when we talk about sexual harassment policies at work, we do not just talk about women being abused, we also talk about the men. And if you're keen, imagine you as a young man going to work and your boss is a woman. How well can you stand up to this lady? How well can you stand up to your boss and tell them that I do not want to be called this, or I do not want to be treated like this? So you can be abused as a man, you can be abused as a female. And I have a problem with that, with the judgment, because first of all, this lady was this man's boss. You saying that he was okay with it, he might not have been okay with it, but he was holding on because he doesn't know the consequences of him saying no to her. In the interest of time, I'm going to cut it short, but I disagree with the fact that, or with people saying that a man will be perceived as weak if they came forward and said they've been sexually harassed.
I know you can disagree, but then
So do you agree with the ruling?
No, you should disagree.
No, I do not.
She's disagreeing.
But then you can disagree, but then we know the
as
truth.
a man, it's very
Simon,
difficult.
We know the truth.
We are done with
As a man,
Done.
We know.
if you are harassed,
Yeah.
don't go crying huko nje.
Yeah.
Deal with it. It has been real.
Yes.
Kangumu.
Yes.
Ngumu ka gumu.
Yeah, white boy Lollipop.
See, before you end it,
Yes.
we had a bonus topic
Yes.
on women being on the forefront of leading the online revolution in Kenya.
No, Kenya.
We're
Kenya's
going to catch
actually.
it next week.
Yeah.
And we'll
Kenya's-
talk about the wealth report, by the way.
wealth
Kenyans,
report.
we need to rank ourselves.
Yeah.
Mjue
Oh, quick one.
Your
Is
poverty
actually
mentality.
Kenyans are the most. We are globally we're the ones who spend the most time on social media.
Yes.
Average of 4 hours.
Come with statistics.
That's really
Come with
high.
That is
all
the
the
truth.
Come with
come
numbers.
with the
So we're
data.
going to crank numbers, yeah?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
count numbers
Come with
next
data.
week. It's been real. It's been beautiful having you, Dr. C, back in the show. Of course, we had missed you. And
Thank
of
you,
course,
Melvin.
Melvin.
Yes.
Wakili, Gen Z Wakili. But remember what we said. Africa is our business.
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
let's close this.
Hey, we are done. All you boy lollipops, go to bed now. Okay.
And get yourself a bottle of Samantha wine.
Honestly, I wouldn't
Cheers.
have made it. But I wouldn't have made it beside Simon if not for Samantha Wines.
Oh wow. What is that? You see, harassment.